That does mean thank you. Now out here we like to say twende. Twende means let's go. Jumbo everyone, my name is Lauren. I'll be your safari guide out here today on the Grande Wildlife Reserve. Now I do have a couple safety reminders. Please make sure we are remaining fully seated at all times. Even when my truck is stopped, please stay seated for me. Lap sitters are definitely included in that. Remember that you are not Rafiki and your child is not Simba, and we are not trying to remake the live action Lion King, so they will need to remain seated in that same lap as well. Now we are entering the Little Aturi Forest. Animals are usually quite shy out here, but as we make this turn, I'm seeing a bird up here on the left at the top of the hill. It's going to be black and white. That's the saddle-billed stork. Now the saddle-billed stork is going to stand up to 5 feet tall, and they have a wingspan of 9 feet wide. There's another one up ahead if you missed it. We can tell the difference between males and females by looking at their eye color. Females will have yellow eyes, whereas the males will have brown eyes. Now over on the right side, we're going to see an animal with some striped legs. It's going to disappear behind the tree, but then we'll see it again. That is the okapi. Now because of their striped legs, a lot of people think they're related to a zebra, but they're really not. Their closest relative is actually going to be a giraffe, and we can tell this by looking at their facial structure as well as the shape of their ears. Now they will also have a long prehensile tongue just like the giraffe does, and the okapi's tongue is actually long enough that if it really truly wanted to, it could lick its eyes or its ears. Now over there on the left, we're going to see a black rhino. It's kind of behind that, well, a lot of tree branches are falling, but it's moving. Now black rhinos, they are going to weigh around 3,000 pounds, and they can charge up to speeds of 35 miles per hour. They do have a prehensile pointed upper lip, and that allows them to pluck leaves off of the branches around them. Now they are pretty solitary animals. We won't really see these black rhinos hanging out with other animals, or truly really any other black rhinos. They just enjoy having their alone time. Let's see if there's anyone else out here. I'm not seeing too many more animals, but the ones that we did see, they do rely on that thick and lush forest for survival. So we just ask that you're using your paper products responsibly with everyday acts like reducing, reusing, and recycling paper and plastic waste. We do want to help keep those animals' homes alive and thriving for years and years to come. Now we are heading over to Safi River. Out here, animals like to hang out in the water and around the water. Let's see. Oh, I'm seeing a white and gray bird with a really long beak. This is the pink-backed pelican. Now the pink-backed pelican gets its name because during mating season, they have a pink spot that shows up on their back. It's almost like they're blushing. Now their pink spot, it's not actually their feathers that are turning pink, but it's the skin underneath their feathers. Now on the left side, this is what we like to call a bloat. That is what we call a bloat. It's a group of hippos. Now hippos do spend the majority of their day fully submerged in water because that's how they like to keep themselves cool. Now we won't really see them swimming in this water to get around. A hippo's preferred method of travel will actually be to sink all the way down to the bottom and run or walk across the floor. Now they can do this because hippos can actually hold their breath for up to 8 minutes while they are fully submerged in that water. Let's see, up ahead on the left side, we're going to see the Nile crocodile. A couple of them hanging out back there. Now on average, these crocodile are going to be around 16 feet in length, and typically they will weigh close to 500 pounds. Although we have seen times where they have gotten up to 20 feet in length and weighed 2,000 pounds. Now it's not super common for them to get that large, but it is something that can happen. Now their normal diet will mainly consist of fish. However, they are opportunistic predators. That means they are going to eat whatever is unfortunate enough to walk right in front of them. And they can do so because their bite is 2,000 pounds per square inch. That is going to crush nearly anything and everything that they come into contact with, and that includes bone. We don't like spending too much time with them. Now we're leaving the forest ecosystem behind us and we are heading out to the savannah. The savannah is going to have a very different landscape than the one we were just in, and the landscape is going to help tell us what animals we might get to see today. Animals like elephants, they tend to bulldoze down the trees just so they can reach the leaves up at the top. Now the trees we are going to see, well, notice the leaves are around 18 to 20 feet off of the ground. This is because giraffes like to bring me underneath them. They're going to reach for each and every single leaf until they can no longer reach it anymore. And quite honestly, they'll probably just go back again later and try again. Nature's lawnmower. Now let's see. I do see some gray animals hanging out all the way back there on that right side by the bushes. Those are wildebeest. Now wildebeest, they will live in densely packed herds, and their herds will be anywhere from 10 to 1,000 of them. Once a year, 1.5 million wildebeest will come together to migrate distances of 500 to 1,000 miles. Now something that is really cool about that wildebeest migration is that since there are so many of them moving all together at the same time, we can actually track their migration pattern from outer space. Now on the left side, oh look, they got pumpkins. How cute. These are painted dogs. Now painted dogs, they will live in packs of 5 to 15 of them, typically with one alpha male and one alpha female, who are going to be the primary breeders for the group. Now these dogs, they will be one of the most successful predators in Africa, and it's because they work together as a team to chase down their prey until they fall over from exhaustion. Oh, one of the pumpkins is a painted dog. Oh, that's so cute. How fun was that? Now over here on the left, there are brown animals with skinny horns. These are sable antelope. Sable antelope will live 17 to 18 years out in the wild, and they're super territorial animals. In the instance of choosing between fight or flight, they're definitely going to choose to fight. Now these animals with really thick horns also on the left side, these are going to be the Ankole cattle, also known as Watusi cattle after the people who first domesticated them. Their horns will grow to about 3 to 4 feet in length, and although they look heavy, they're actually pretty lightweight. They're made up of a honeycomb-like structure on the inside, and blood will circulate and flow through their horns, and it's going to help keep them cool. Now I am seeing the Hartman's Mountain zebra over here. There's one that's going to be nice and close to us. Now a typical herd of zebra is going to consist of 1 stallion and 2 to 5 females and their calves. But they are very social and very friendly animals, so if these zebra do run into another herd, they're all just going to join together. And that herd of zebra will be called a dazzle. It's my favorite group name. Now baby zebras, there are 2 babies hanging out over here. They're going to imprint on their mothers, learning her striping pattern so very well that just in case they do find themselves in that larger dazzle, they will be able to spot their mom out immediately. And it's because no 2 zebras have the same striping pattern. It's unique to each and every single one of them. Now something very specific about this species of zebra is that they will have the largest heart out of any of the zebra species, and it's because they live in those mountain areas. It's going to help regulate their body temperature, help with blood flow, and even their breathing. Overall, it's just going to give them a better quality of life. There are those 2 little babies over there. Now up ahead, I'm seeing a lot of trees that look like they've been knocked over. So I'm assuming we're about to enter into elephant country.
What?
Right, I see an elephant over there on the right side. We're gonna go up ahead a little bit more so that we can try to get past those bushes. Oh, there's another one up ahead. But before I talk about the elephants, take a look on the left because there are some mandrills over here. Now, mandrills are the largest monkeys in the world, and we do know that they're monkeys. Oh, they have a pumpkin too. We do know that they're monkeys and not apes, and it's because they have tails. Apes aren't gonna have tails. Male mandrill typically are going to weigh around 100 pounds and females only around 30 to 40. They are known for that blue and red coloring on their face. And when that male mandrill gets more excited, those colors will become even more exaggerated. They're one of the monkeys Rafiki is based off of. There we go. That's a really good view of that elephant over there. Elephants, they do live in a matriarchal society, so most of the herds we see are going to be females and their calves. Now, when a male elephant reaches around 10 to 14 years old, they're going to go off on their own. They are some pretty solitary animals, but we will sometimes see them forming bachelor groups. Now, they are not too loyal to these groups. If the vibes are off and they're really not feeling it anymore, they're just going to go back off on their own again. And they're completely fine with that. Now, I do love elephants. They're one of my favorite animals. I like to tell a little story about how the Disney Conservation Fund and other organizations are helping to save these elephants. Through research with elephants, we've learned that they're afraid of bees. Now, they're not exactly afraid of the bee sting. They're actually afraid of the sound. Elephants have really good hearing. So if they hear bees within the area, they will let out a little call to all of the other elephants saying, "Stay away, do not come near, there are bees right over here." Now, with that knowledge, we have helped farmers in Africa build beehives on their fences. This is going to help protect the farmers' crops because elephants won't come walking through there anymore. They won't eat all of their crops. That's amazing. But not only is it helping to protect the farmers' crops, it's helping to protect these elephants. Elephants are poached for their tusks that are made of ivory, so we really don't want to see them around too many people. We don't want those people spreading the elephants' whereabouts, the wrong people overhearing it and putting these elephants in danger. So these beehives, they are going to keep the people where the people need to be and those elephants right where they need to be, which is very far apart from one another. Now, those farmers, they are also going to get another source of income from these beehives because they get to sell the honey. So overall, it's just a big win-win for the farmers and the elephants. Now, we did see that first elephant flapping its ears back and forth. There's another elephant walking this way. Now, the reason the elephants flap their ears back and forth is because that's how they keep themselves cool. They have all of these blood vessels that are running behind their ear, and that flapping motion that they do gets that blood flowing and moving, and it actually cools the elephant down by 15 degrees. Pretty impressive. I kind of wish my ears could do that too. If you look a little bit behind you, you might be able to see that one over there. But there is another one walking towards us also. Now, it does look like we're approaching a flamboyant. This is what we call a group of flamingo. And these flamingo are the greater flamingo. When they hatch, they are going to be a soft gray color. And it takes about 2 to 3 years of them eating their diet of brine shrimp, which is high in beta-carotene, for them to get to their pinkest of pink. Now, these flamingo, they are going to be the lightest pink of the flamingo species, and also the largest. the white rhinos are hanging out pretty close to their mud wallow. They're probably going to take a mud bath here soon. Now they do like rolling around in the mud and coating their skin in it because it acts as a sunscreen for them as well as an insect repellent. And we will see them rolling around in this mud all together quite often. It's because it's their #1 way to socialize with one another, rolling around in these mud wallows. So that is something that makes them different from black rhinos, is that the white rhino's social. We will see them hanging out all together like this, and they don't mind sharing their home with other animals. Now they are also larger than the black rhino. They're going to weigh anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000 pounds, but the biggest difference is actually their mouth shape. The white rhino gets its name from the Afrikaans word white, which actually means wide and not white. This is referring to their broad square mouth, whereas that black rhino had that pointed upper lip. If you look on the right, do you guys see that brown animal over there? That's a water buck. Now water bucks, they are very sedentary animals. They do not migrate over great distances. Instead, they like to build their home near watering holes. Now if a predator does approach, all they really do to stay away from it is jump in the water and hang out there until that predator leaves. Now they do also drink the most water out of any other antelope, and for both those reasons they get their name, the water buck. Now I see a cheetah hanging out over here on the left. Now a group of cheetah is called a coalition, but these are lovely ladies, so I like to call them the cheetah girls. It's just a little bit more fun. Now they're fast. Cheetah run up to 65 miles per hour, and they can reach that speed in just 3 seconds. It's going to last them a few hundred yards. So they are definitely sprinters, not really marathon runners. Now they are unlike a lot of other predators in Africa in the sense that they're daytime hunters. These cheetah have a black stripe on their face that starts near their tear duct and it goes all the way down to their mouth, and that black stripe will actually help reflect the sun for them. It's like a built-in pair of sunglasses, or if you enjoy watching football or baseball, it's like the eye black players wear. It's all doing the same thing. Oh, the lion's roaring. Can you hear it? Oh my goodness. Oh, the female's roaring too. She's on the other side. She's still going. Wow, how fun was that? Good news is we're stopped for an ostrich right now, so we're going to be staring at this lion for a little bit. But the lions, they are very inactive animals. Typically, we are just going to see them lying around. Now they are actually inactive for around 16 to 20 hours out of the day. At night, the female, we should see her shortly, she is going to leave to go hunting, and mainly in a group. This because their prey is a lot larger than them. They really need to work together as a team. Now that male lion, he'll stay home, take care of the cubs, watch out after the kopie being this large rock structure, and just kind of hang out until the female comes home. And we can actually hear a lion's roar up to 5 miles away. So that roar we just heard, up to 5 miles away, you can hear it. And that's actually how those male and females will keep track of each other at night. Let's see if we can find the female. There she is. On that first rock. There's another water buck over there on the right side. And if you look, we're kind of far away, but I like their noses because it looks like it's in the shape of a heart. They're really cute. And she's up. do have a very quick digestive system. They can gorge themselves and go for seconds in just a couple seconds after that. It does not take them long to digest and want to eat more food. They're eating a lot quite often. Now up ahead, I am seeing some warthogs. Stop for an ostrich. And the warthogs are going to be over here on the left side. They're roaming around right now, pretty good view. They are the largest burrowing mammal, but typically we don't see them digging their own burrows from scratch. Oh, there's one in the burrow. Now they do typically just find old aardvark burrows and natural burrows in the ground. Then they use their super sharp tusk as well as their snout and their feet to dig their burrows just a little bit deeper, just to make them their own homes. Now you aren't going to see those pesky ostrich up ahead. They're going to be over here on the right side, hanging out by the truck. Now ostrich are actually some pretty fast animals. They will run up to 45 miles per hour, and one single stride from an ostrich will be anywhere between 10 to 16 feet in length. Now they are flightless birds, but we will sometimes see them using their wings while they run. If they have their wings spread out, that's how they're going to maintain their balance as well as change direction in a moment's notice. Now there is a common misconception that they will bury their heads in the sand when they're frightened. That's because sometimes, not too often though, they'll lower their necks down to the ground in order to appear more like a rock, kind of like an inanimate object, and less like an animal. Typically though, if an ostrich is really that frightened, they're just going to go running away. It does look like we are heading over to Magadi Glen, and Magadi Glen is going to be home to the Warden's Post. Now I do want you guys to think all the way back to that story I was telling you earlier about elephants and bees. The Warden is actually building a beehive right out front. It's going to be this large yellow structure that we'll see. Now in my opinion, I do think the Warden has the most adorable livestock. We're going to see the Nigerian dwarf goats. Looks like they're hanging out front. Now although these goats may be small, most of them are going to be adults. They do make great livestock for the farmer because of their size. They really aren't taking up a whole lot of space, but also because they are going to eat a lot of things other livestock won't and won't be able to. This is because they are ruminants. That means their stomach has 4 separate compartments in it. It really helps with their digestion, and it's also kind of what gives them their pot belly-like shape. Now they do spend most of their day resting and eating. Those goats are very playful and social. They love running around all together, and they enjoy meeting all of you. Which is why you, my friends, have the opportunity to get up close and personal with those goats, as well as some other livestock, over at Rafiki Planet Watch in the affection section. And not only can you just pet some goats over there are reptiles and insects for you to view. The animal hospital is also out that way. You never know what you're going to see. Every day there is something new going on. And there is an animation experience where one of Disney's animators will teach you how to draw one of your favorite Disney animals. Now the first train will depart at 9:30 today, and the last train for the day will depart at 4:30. So if you're wanting to head out that way, I recommend you go sooner rather than later. You definitely don't want to miss out on all of that fun over there. Now my friends, we are making our way to that last and final stop. Now would be a good time to take a look around, make sure you have all of your belongings with you. It is a very long journey back to Africa. Please don't leave anything out here with me. And if I have any Wilderness Explorers on board, you are on the Simba 1. That is the SINBA with the number 1 right after it.